Hello class and welcome back. In this video we're going to go through changing the different type on this page, styling it, and getting this ready for the final poster. So as you've probably seen in a previous video, I've already downloaded all the fonts needed for this project. Again, you can refer to my font download video, which should be linked to just above this one in Moodle if you need further help there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come into JazzFest 2013 in our file, and we're going to set this headline font. So to do this, we're going to make sure that we can come up here to our control bar, and we are just going to double click, and we are going to type in ATC, and then M, and you can see we have Maple, Medium, Ultra, Elm, and all the other ones. Now, the great thing about InDesign Creative Cloud is that it's very easy to search for your fonts this way. So in this case, we know we need Medium, Ultra, and we already have that. So you can see we have ATC Maple set as Ultra here. We're going to change the font size to 72 points. We're going to make sure all caps is set by using our control bar here and click settling the whole all caps option. And we're going to come over here to our kerning. Kerning is your space in between individual letters in a word, and it's a principle that designers have used for many years to go back and adjust fonts because, as you can tell, right now this doesn't look bad, but we definitely need to give this some more visual weight. And you can also see there's some awkward spacing in here in between, like the E and the S or the Z and the F. Really, again, designers use kerning, leading, tracking, so on and so forth, to make sure that we change our fonts to best fit the projects we use. Now, I could spend days talking about typography, and that isn't the focus of this class, but if you're interested, I encourage you to look up different typographic principles online, or you can also visit the MC library, and they've got a lot of great books on the subject. Alright, so we're going to come here to our tracking line. Again, that's where you have this VA that's highlighted, and you see if you hover over, you have tracking. We're going to change this to 200. Oh, I need to make sure this is highlighted first for JazzFest. Now, you can see what I did is when I tried to come in here and hit Command A to select everything, I actually selected all my text across the text boxes. So just to select JazzFest, just click once and double click one more time. And there you go. So click 4 times to highlight JazzFest in rapid succession. Go to tracking, change that to 200, and you can see that this now fits perfectly within our headline. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to come to our second box, click 4 times to get all of our text selected that we want. We're going to change our font to ATC Pine, and we're going to make sure that this is bold italic. Alright, and now we're going to make sure we change this from 12 point to 34. And you can see that we're actually going over a little bit, so to adjust this we're going to change our horizontal scale and kind of squish it just a little bit. Now to do that, you can see we have our different scales over here. We have vertical scale, horizontal scale, skew, and baseline shift. In this case, what these do is these actually stretch your letter forms. So to give you an exaggerated example, I'm coming here to my vertical, and I'm going to change this to 200%. And you see how it stretches my letter forms out and distorts those. Now, since we're just looking for a little bit of space, for our width, we're just going to change this from 100 to 90. And you can see that it kind of squishes our text just a little bit and allows us the full space we need. We're also going to make sure that everything else is set right, so that looks fine. And now we're going to go to our third text frame, and again, click 4 times in rapid succession to get to everything. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I only selected part of it. So here I'm just going to go over here and just click and drag, get everything we need. And we're going to change this to ATC Pine Bold, so ATC P for Pine, Bold, and make sure our font size is set to 22. And we're going to change our horizontal scaling to 90%. So again, we're going to come back over here. Same scale as the last letters, 90. And now we can see they all fit nicely on the same page. And we're going to come down here to our last bit of text for our web address. Oops, selected too many times. So again, just highlight that. we're going to change this to 26 ATC Maple Medium. So ATC Maple Medium and 26 point. Alright, so at this point we've laid out our basics for our text. We've got everything styled, threaded, and ready to move on to the next part of the project. Now, in this next piece of the project, we're going to start on page 465 so you can follow along. And now we're going to work with our paragraph formatting. So a lot of times you'll be able to come in here and change your text or change your styles, and that would be adequate for what you're trying to achieve. But in this case, we have some special needs because of the way these are set off and aligned. We want to make sure we can change this. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to click anywhere in the paragraph of the second frame, and we're going to make sure that we can go to, let's see, we're going to go to our Align tools up here in our control bar. You can also go to Window, Type, Tables, and Paragraph. So I'm going to open these both ways. So I have my Paragraph panel open. You can see by looking that these are essentially the same thing, so this one has a few more options. So inside our paragraph, we're going to click the Align Right button, and you can see it moves all of our text over and aligns that to the right side of our frame. Now we're going to place the insertion point in the last paragraph of the third frame, right to center align this one. So we're going to set right in front of Johnny, and now we're going to hit the center line. So you see now we've centered just this one piece that we have here. And we're going to select the first through fifth lines in the third frame. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to select this. And let's see. Once we have these selected, we are going to, in the paragraph panel, change the space before to 0.09. And that is our little area right here. So 0.09. And you see this changes this, and I actually need to go back and make sure that all of this is selected. And come back here and select 0.09. And you see this adds some nice spacing in between here, but it doesn't affect our paragraph we have right here. Alright, so the next part we're going to do is we're going to select the second through fifth lines here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to change our left indent to 0.5. Again, this is this little section right here that's pushing the arrow left. And we're going to change this to 0.5. And you see it shifts everything over for us. And this allows us to, we can come in here and set different margins and different things for our text. And now we're going to go to just above the beginning of the sixth line before the word and. Let's see. We are going to go and many more. And we are going to press enter. And let's see, we're going to press return. And you can see that actually kept the same attributes as the previous paragraph, so we're going to change that. You can see it moved up a little bit, and now if we hit enter, it's actually going to change it to keep the same attributes of this fifth element part. And now we're going to click place the insertion point beginning at the beginning of the fifth line, right before Johnny. Hit backspace. And you can see that moves us up, and we're going to hit enter to separate that out again. So you can see this way now we have our 4 setting lines of all of our performers, and then we have the second indent of the and many more. So we're going to save this and keep on going. So now we're going to open the story panel. To get to that, you go to Window. Let's see. We're going to go to Window, Type and Tables, and Story. And you can see I've got this little bitty, this one thing we have, the optical margin alignment. Now what happens when we turn this on, the punctuation mark moves outside of the text margins. So you can see that we have these commas right here, right? They're inside and they're kind of pushing our text back just a bit. So if I highlight this whole area and hit and change this optical alignment, which we're going to do, Yeah, so we're going to select this once, and we're going to change this point size to 34. And you can see it moved everything over. And so now we're going to place the insertion point in the first frame. And here we are going to go to our paragraph panel, click down, and we're going to ignore optical margin. So that moves everything back. But basically what we did here is we came in and we said we want these commas to stay outside the margin of the text frame. And this is just due to a visual spacing issue that designers have to work through. And we usually do want our commas and punctuation outside of the text box so they don't mess with our margins. Alright, so what we're going to do is, now that we've set all this, we're going to go to Command 0. We're going to create a new box. We're going to select it from top to bottom. And we're going to change the fill of this box to black. Now I'm going to go to my Layers panel, take this rectangle, drag it all the way to the bottom, and move it all the way back. And with the insertion, and now what we're going to do is, we have this great frame around our piece, but we can't see any of our text. So to change that's real easy. We're just going to come to our text tool, click once, and then hit Command A. And now we're going to come in and change the swatch to paper. And just like I said before, again, the reason we do this is because there is no white ink. We changed this so that we can see it, and whenever everything's printed, this white will be whatever color the stock of the paper is. So lastly, we're going to come in here, center the mbjazzfest.com, and finalize our poster. So at this point, we have most of the poster completed. There's just a little bit further to go. Again, I'm going to zoom out so you can see everything. What I would like you to do now is to move through pages 470 in your text, through 470, let's see, through all the way through 479 to complete the project. Now, we've done most of this with you already. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be adding, if you look at your text, you're going to be adding the little the music marks beside each one and placing those in the text and working with them as inline images. So if you have any problems going through this next part of the project, please let me know by contacting me through Moodle, or as always at pferris@mc.edu. If I can ever be of any help, don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm excited to see the final projects from everybody, and don't forget that this is due by this coming Sunday at midnight. And after this, we'll only have one more project. So if you haven't completed any of the forms that are on Moodle, please make sure to go back and complete those. And I'll be talking to each of you individually soon to go over any opportunities for your grades and to let you kind of know where you stand before we enter this final week. Thank you so much, and again, looking forward to see some great work.